drugs. They pull out our kids constantly, so we're dealing with that.
You know, socioeconomically speaking, it's a high poverty area.
There's not a lot of funding going on for the city right now, so these kids are deprived of after-school activities.
Well, it's a struggle because, you know, I came into the position with kind of a plan for how we were going to improve our athletics as a whole. When you're onto the job, we had to cut 20% of the budget. So that plan kind of went out the window.
It's kind of like a yearly thing of having to raise a certain amount of money just to get basic needs met.
My assistant coach, John Ramos, and I started a fundraising. We needed $18,000 to save that program. A sustainable amount of money came through, and we were able to save that program. Then we get word that our freshman program is being cut. It almost seems that we're being punished for doing good. They say, oh, these guys could fend for themselves. You know, that cut won't hurt them. You know, fundraising is tough, and it's all year-round business.
Something's got to give. Like every year they make all these crazy cuts.
When my mom told me about it, I honestly couldn't believe it. Like, you can ask her. I told her, like, you know, there's no way. You have to be, like, you know, exaggerating a little bit. They can't cut, like, you know, all sports in Bridgeport.
I was told that the wrestling program is going to be cut. I was devastated. Not only being the wrestling coach, just knowing that we got kids out. We have kids that got academic scholarships.
It's not all about sports. You have to have the grades with it and the attitude.
It keeps them coming to school. It keeps them connected to their classes.
Those kids, they work just as hard as anybody else and twice as hard. And I'll tell you why. Some of those kids don't go home to a meal. They got to wait to practice, after practice, to get a meal. A lunch and then football, you know, that's not enough for a growing boy.
A high percentage of our students are on free or reduced lunch, over 95% of the kids.
A lot of kids don't eat breakfast at home. The only lunch or dinner they're getting is the school lunch. So in the summertime, there is nowhere for them to eat. So we end up feeding them.
You know, a lot of the kids walk to school. They don't have rides. They might walk to practice 2-3 miles. We're having an issue with, like, a lot of shootings and stuff with young kids. Just because you're from that side of town, I'm from this side of town.
Pow, 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 pow. What puzzled me was, like, some of the people didn't even budge. Like, it was like, oh, that's over there. Like, why are we not playing the game? And it's like, what? Like, are you really that immune to it?
You know, it's funny. They play each other in sports and they all get along. The thing is with sports is, like, it brings people together. If you're playing sports, you're with teammates, you're, you know, practicing games, that reduces your time on the streets getting in trouble.
We've made it almost a family to have these children in our lives. You'll see them come by. You know, we live in their neighborhoods. My tailback lives 2 houses down, so they can come and they can talk to us.
Eddie's like controlling a whole weight room with kids, and as soon as Eddie speaks, the pin drop, and quiet, and they really respect him.
I wouldn't trade any of these kids, for even the ones that get on my nerves. I wouldn't trade any of them. Like, I've worked at other schools that was very, you know, low maintenance. Nah, I'll take this one.
She's our coach, but she's like another mother to us. She's pushed us academically, physically. Even when we said we couldn't, she was there to tell us that we could.
But even if you look at, like, the equipment they're using there, it's like rusty, and they still use it. They work with what they got.
People have destroyed us. Harding was this, Harding was that, the sports there are bad, Bridgeport kids are bad. So to be able to get stuff, it's like, all right, maybe some people out there don't see us as crazy like delinquents.
I had a girl who's played volleyball, basketball, and ran track and field in the same shoes. And what am I gonna do? My feet are too big to hand over to her. So when Good Sports came through, it was almost like Christmas for the kids. And it was like you gave, and I'll say my kids, a better opportunity to get out of here for free. All they have to do is work hard.
Parents can't purchase that stuff here because if they do, then they can't pay the light bill. So now they have that stuff, that equipment.
You know, a lot of our kids, they come back from these away games and they're like, oh man, this school had this and that, and, you know, all these different bells and whistles, and, you know, we're going to be one of those schools next year, at least at Harding.
At the end of the day, you know, when those neighborhood towns are receiving, you know, those things, our kids deserve the same. Our kids deserve the exact same.